All right, please be seated. Okay, we are going to start off with a group of proclamations. We will start. We have one for National Library Week, one for National Library Workers Day, one declaring April 10th, 2025 as Gopher Tortoise Day. Oh, I will get to that as well. And one for National Arbor Day. So we will start with those. Prior to that, we have our approval of the agenda as it stands. If there's any modifications or changes that you wish to make, now is the time to specify to do so. And I believe, Commissioner Thomas, you have one you'd like to make. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to pull item 10 under consent agenda for discussion.
Okay, so she wishes to pull item number 10. That will be pulled. Can I entertain a motion for that?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so item number 10 will be pulled from consent. We'll go ahead and approve the rest of consent as we, we have one letter? Sure.
I'm asking to pull item 9,
Item 9, okay, can we entertain?
just for discussion.
Can we entertain a motion?
Motion.
No.
Can't make a motion.
I make a motion to,
Second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So items 9 and 10 are pulled from consent, and the remainder will be there for approval when we get to consent. Okay? With that, we will start the proclamation, and I believe our librarian will be coming up for the first two. All right. We get a workout in. I'll hold them both, you know? I will hold them. All right. This, unless you want to read it. No? Oh, okay, I'll read it. This first one is a proclamation declaring April 8, 2025 as National Library Workers Day. Whereas public libraries serve as vital centers of knowledge, connection, and opportunity, providing free access to books, technology, educational programs, and essential resources for people of all ages and backgrounds. And whereas the dedicated workers in public libraries, including librarians, assistants, technicians, and support staff, play an essential role in ensuring these resources are accessible, fostering literacy, lifelong learning, and community engagement. And whereas the 2025 National Library Week themed Drawn to the Library highlights the inspiration, creativity, and sense of belonging that public libraries bring to individuals and families. And whereas public library workers are committed to serving their communities by promoting reading, supporting digital inclusion, preserving local history, and creating welcoming spaces for discovery and innovation. And whereas their expertise, dedication, and passion make public libraries indispensable institutions that strengthen neighborhoods, empower individuals, and bridge the gap between knowledge and opportunity. And whereas National Library Workers Day is an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of public library workers who make a lasting difference in the lives of our patrons every day. Now, therefore, I, Roger Mashad, Mayor, do hereby proclaim April 8, 2025 as National Library Workers Day and encourage all members of our community to express their appreciation for the hardworking and committed public library workers who enrich our lives and strengthen our communities. Thank you very much.
You're here.
Would you like to speak now or wait until I read the other? Okay.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get any of my other coworkers here because they're all working at the library today or just coming off shift. So I really do appreciate them. They are the backbone of the library, and if we did not have them, the library would not exist. And it wouldn't, and even if we were missing like a couple of them, the library would be much worse than it, well, not much worse. It wouldn't be as good as it is. And it is making us great. So thank you.
Okay. Now I have another one for you for National Library Week 2025. Whereas libraries speak creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. And whereas libraries serve as a vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. And whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. And whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. And whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic successes. And whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. And whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. And whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Drawn to the Library. Okay. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Roger Michaud, Mayor, proclaim April 6 to 12, 2025, as National Library Week. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together as a community. Thank you very much. Would you like me to hold?
Okay, I'm going to get a tad bit political. This is really important for next week because they just shut down the Institute for Museum and Library Science. It has been completely closed. They have put all of their workers on layoffs. And the Institute for Museum and Library Science is extremely important. They are the ones who coordinate the National Library for the Blind. They are the ones that coordinate, I'm trying to think what all they do coordinate, because there is so much that they do, and they're such a small part of the budget. There is only like 70 some odd workers that they laid off. But this is an extremely critical department, even though it's small. It is going to affect us. We aren't going to be getting, the state isn't going to be getting grants from the federal government, which means that in turn, the libraries aren't going to be getting state aid from the state. So it is extremely important that we let representatives know that IMLS, the Institute of Museum of Library Science, does need to continue to exist. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say, with regards to our library, I just want to thank Ms. Cooper for her leadership, as well as all of our staff. We have an amazing team over there, and you can see it just from the books, the videos, all the opportunities, the programming, the events, working with our schools. We're just really grateful for all that you and our staff do, and we just want to say thank you very much. And you know, there are so many improvements that are being made in our library right now under the leadership of Ms. Cooper and, of course, our Public Works Department. And so, Mr. Morales, we want to say thank you. And, you know, there'll be some changes happening in the library, and it'll be even more exciting when those are done. So thank you for all you do.
I echo his sentiments, especially when I work with Usual myself. So, all right. May we have Miss Patricia LeDuc up here along with her special guests. Now, I just want to say before I read this, I was given the opportunity to be toured in our Lake Park Scrub area by Ms. LeDuc, who has taken it on as a steward. And I was very impressed because I have lived here for a long time, and I had never been, I've been here since '85, and I have never been to the scrub in that long time. And the fact that you took the opportunity to give me a moment to see nature in its natural form was very enriching, inspiring, and it made me feel good that you, of all people, have taken that initiative as yourself and have opened us to new possibilities, new tours, hopefully in the future, and a new wave of Lake Park that we can all enjoy and enrich in. So I want to thank you for doing that. I just wanted to say that before I read the proclamation of Gopher Tortoise Day, which is, I know, is big to you, and myself as well as the rest of the commission are very happy to present this to all of you. So, okay. This is Gopher Tortoise Day proclamation honoring gopher tortoises. Whereas Gopher Tortoise Day was adopted in 2016 by the Gopher Tortoise Council to increase appreciation and conservation support for the species, and whereas Gopher Tortoise Day will be observed annually in the town of Lake Park of Florida on April 10th, and whereas the gopher tortoise has been living on Earth for 500,000 to 2 million years, and whereas the gopher tortoise today is the official tortoise of the state of Florida and is protected in Florida as a threatened species, and whereas the gopher tortoise is considered a keystone species, and whereas the gopher tortoise burrow protects more than 350 species, some of which are also listed as threatened, and whereas the gopher tortoise habitat needs protection, and whereas the gopher tortoise habitat at the Lake Park Scrub Natural Area, which is managed by Palm Beach County Environmental Resources Management, help to sustain the area ecology, sorry if I said that incorrectly, my apologies, and provide residents and visitors an opportunity to observe this rare species in its native habitat and provide a source of joy and appreciation for nature. Now, therefore, I, Roger Michaud, Mayor of the Town of Lake Park, do hereby proclaim April 10th as Gopher Tortoise Day in the town of Lake Park, Florida, and urge all citizens to protect this species by doing and learning more about them. Congratulations. Want to do a picture first, or? Okay, before you go, I'd like you to say a few words as well as introduce your special guests.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the town of Lake Park for putting up with me whining about having some access to the Lake Park Scrub area and working with the Environmental Resource Management through Palm Beach County. So hopefully our goal of having public access will be found because there are gopher tortoises there. Ross Shearer is the official site manager. He's been managing the property for over 20 years, and this is his boss, Craig, and they're both with the Environmental Resource Management. And back in January, when we were presented a presentation from Deborah Dunn, who is the director at the ERM, she approached me and said, hey, you know, we have site stewardships available. So I reached out to the ERM, and I am the official site steward for the Lake Park Scrub. So I have the opportunity to enjoy the gopher tortoises. And when I read that this is Gopher Tortoise Month and April 10th should be recognized, I was very happy to have the mayor and the town manager, you know, willing to, let us do this proclamation. And I thank my people from the Environmental Resource Management. Roz was a good teacher for me. I went through the orientation, and I learned a lot from him. His experience is, beyond anything that I could learn in the short period of time I've been going there, which is just a few years. He's got 20 years of experience, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity, to go out there and, work with them. I pick up trash. I look at, if there's anything that has been, disrupted that they need to know about. That's part of my responsibility. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you for the commission. I think most of you have been out there with me, but if you want a tour, I'm available. I think Mr. Linden and Mr. O'Rourke. So if you would like to see a few words.
And on behalf of ERM, thank you very much. And we're excited to have Patricia out there and getting regular feedback on what's going on. And I'm excited that you've been taking the town staff and leadership out there. And we've applied for a grant to put this public use in place. It would be a couple cars, a long hiking trail, an over observation platform, and we're hoping to hear back later on this summer if we get the grant from the state, and then we would start the process, working with the town to get the permitting and everything to construct the facilities. So, thank you.
All
Did
set.
you want to say something, Roz?
I think Ross is good. All right, and our final one, in honor of Arbor Day, can we have members of our tree board? And this proclamation is in honor of Arbor Day. Whereas in 1871, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource which provides the materials necessary to produce paper, construct our homes, fuel our fires, and manufacture countless other wood products. And whereas trees increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and improve the overall aesthetic appeal of our community, which it very well does. And trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas efforts to protect our trees and woodlands by planting trees to promote the well-being of this and future generations should be supported by all persons. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Commission of the Town of Lake Park, Florida, I, Roger Michaud, Mayor of the Town of Lake Park, Florida, do hereby recognize April 25th, 2025, as National Arbor Day. In witness thereof, I have hereto set my hand and affixed this official seal of the Town of Lake Park, Florida, to be affixed on the 2nd day of April 2025. Congratulations. Mr. Drew, would you like to say a few words?
Just want to say thank you to the town for recognizing the importance of trees for all the great reasons listed there in the proclamation. And welcome everybody out to the Arbor Day celebration happening Friday, April 25th. The town always puts on a great presentation. The local kids will be there. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, give it. Okay. All right. Next, we have Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics annual presentation. welcome back.
So, hi, my name is Gina Levesque. Good evening, and thank you for having me. My name is Gina Levesque, and I serve as the Intake and Compliance Manager for the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Today, I'd like to share a little about who we are, what we do, and how we can be a resource for you. The Commission on Ethics was established in 2010 following a 2009 grand jury recommendation for ethics reform in Palm Beach County. Our mission is simple but crucial: to promote integrity in public service, build public trust, and ensure that private interests do not interfere with public duties. What sets our commission apart is its independence. We operate separately from county or municipal governments, and our 5 volunteer members are appointed by independent organizations. This structure ensures fair and impartial oversight. We provide oversight, accountability, and transparency for more than 12,000 public officials, employees, and advisory board members, as well as certain vendors and lobbyists throughout Palm Beach County. The Code of Ethics applies not only to county government, but also to all 39 municipalities, ensuring that public officials and employees act with integrity, independence, and impartiality, and that a public office is never used for personal gain. But our role is not just about enforcement, it's about prevention. We place a strong emphasis on education because we believe that the best way to prevent ethical violations is to ensure that people understand the rules before they make decisions. That's why we provide ongoing training and advisory opinions to help officials and employees navigate ethical concerns before they become an issue. In fact, we've issued nearly 560 advisory opinions to date. While we do have authority to impose penalties such as reprimands and fines up to $500 per violation, our primary goal is to educate, guide, and prevent violations before they occur. We also ensure transparency by making all advisory opinions, gift forms, voting conflict forms, and complaints publicly available on our website. At the Commission on Ethics, we encourage everyone to remember one simple phrase: ask first, act later. If you ever have a question regarding the application of the Code of Ethics, please reach out to us before making a decision or taking an action. You can find resources, request training, or contact us by visiting palmbeachcountyethics.com or by calling 561-355-1915. Thank you for your time, and most importantly, thank you for your commitment to ethical governance.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
And I can tell that you have that down to science.
This is only the second time I've done it this year, but I've got several more to go.
Okay.
But I have, hot off the presses is our 2025 edition of our Guide to the Code of Ethics. It's the first time in print since 2016, and I have given those to you guys and supplied the town with copies for all the employees, advisory board members, and if you have any questions, ask Mr. Baird first, and then come to us.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know if anybody on the council had any. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have public comments. Public comment, and I don't think I have any cards.
No cards.
Okay. Moving forward. Next, we have the consent agenda, and again, items number 9 and 10 were pulled from consent.
If I may, Mayor,
Yes.
items 7 and 8 also require a vote and a second nomination.
Okay, so we're going to pull those as well.
I don't know if we have to pull them. While we do the consent agenda, I would be a second.
We already have,
Sally-
well, we already have motions for the two, so I would think,
But there has to be a second on both of them.
correct. So in the consent, there'll be a second there, which will count towards the two items as well.
If that's the way it's done, okay.
Okay. I mean,
We can do.
Tom? Okay, say it again on the mic.
That's the way the consent agenda is done.
Okay.
Motion and a second.
All right, so with that, we have three items on consent. Two of those, which Councilman O'Rourke had stated, already have motions on them. So at this point, I will entertain a second for the items on consent that we are approving.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. That's for items 6, 7, and 8. Any other further discussion? Seeing, hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the consent passes. Moving on, I will move to the two items that were pulled from consent. The first one is item number 9, ratification of settlement, Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, FMIT, Leone. I will open the floor with Commissioner O'Rourke.
Yes, on this item, my laptop just went out, but I read this item. The only thing I wanted to mention was the insurance company that handles this has entered into an agreement or a resolution to a accident with injury. And the thing that I wanted to bring to the Commission's attention is that there's a $25,000 deductible, thank you, that the town must pay. And it seems that and I'm just bringing this up. I'm not saying that we need to go do anything as a result of that. I just want to remind you that with each action such as this, we're going to end up paying that deductible. And I'm wondering that this is something that we should consider in our budget, and I just wanted to point that out. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have anybody else that may have any other questions on this item? Commissioner Linden?
Yeah, thank you. I looked it over, and I agree with you, but I was wondering, is there some type of a blanket deductible one time that it will apply to that group? Has that been looked into?
We can certainly speak to our broker about it.
Well, the $25,000 deductible is part of the contract with the town. So any case that the carrier settles on behalf of the town that exceeds $25,000, the town, or if it's under $25,000, the town is going to pay that deductible. So, for example, if this settlement was $15,000, that would all come out of the town's deductible. In this case, it's 25 from the town, 50 from the carrier.
Okay.
And that's on a per occurrence basis.
Correct.
Yeah. But we can certainly ask and see if there's other options.
Yeah, that could get a little costly, you know. So I'd like to have some type of a coverage or some type of a blanket, if you would, to help protect us and some of our money that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
That answered my question, because I was going to simply ask that question about a probably blanket coverage, but it's pretty much as every infraction, that's a deductible of $25,000, correct?
Correct. And this is a pretty standard deductible in municipal insurance. I mean, in private insurance, you could negotiate with the insurance company if you wanted a higher deductible, for example. You would pay a different premium, but you'd have a higher deductible. My experience with FMIT and PGIS, which is the other predominant carrier for municipal insurance is that both policies have, as a standard deductible, $25,000. Now, whether that can be negotiated with them, I would assume that if, for example, you ask for a further reduction in the deductible, you're probably going to pay more in the policy, for the policy. But and historically, the town, at least during my tenure here, I mean, it's a handful of cases that have been settled over the years, this being obviously the most recent one.
Okay. Any other questions? With that, I'll entertain a motion. If there are any other questions.
I make a motion to approve item number 9, ratification of settlement.
Second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have item number 10, Town Grant Making Program Application, Imagination Library, FY 2025 for $7,500. I will move this over to my commissioner, to my right, Commissioner Thomas.
Yes, I had a number of questions, but then I asked our town manager that maybe some of the questions that I have would probably be settled if the applicant is here to provide us with a little presentation, because these were just some certain questions that our town manager couldn't answer, and stated that, Meryl, you could probably assist. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Meryl Angstreich, Grant Writer, Chief Public Information Officer for the town. The application you're speaking of is from the Nicholas and Kristen Thompson Foundation. Kristen is here with us this evening, and she has information for you as well as a PowerPoint that she created. So hopefully that will answer your questions, and if not, she is happy to answer any other questions you may have, and I'm on hand to assist as well. So, Kristen?
The button at the top. Okay. Hello, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. Meryl, thank you. My name is Kristen Thompson. My nonprofit organization is the Palm Beach County Imagination Library. And so this is a PowerPoint presentation with some more information about the program. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is an award-winning free book gifting program started by Dolly Parton in 1995. The program mails one high-quality, age-appropriate book per month to each child enrolled from birth through their 5th birthday at no cost to the family, regardless of income. The program has been duplicated worldwide since it started in 1995, and in some states, this is codified at the state level, so all children under 5 can sign up for the program and receive free books in the mail each month from birth through their 5th birthday. The way the program works is through the Dollywood Foundation, which provides key systems, including the book ordering website and local program partners who pay the monthly cost of books and mailing, enroll families, and market the program. And this infographic shows the way the program works, and with the current costs of wholesale books and mailing, it's $2.60 per book per child.
What Dolly Parton's Imagination Library does, and I get excited when I think about it because it allows young people from birth to start receiving and having books in their homes.
The idea behind the program is to inspire a love of reading and a love of books by gifting a book through the mail in the child's name each month from literally the day they're born until the month that they turn 5. The books had to be new, that there had to be lots of them, and that the program had to feel more like a gift than a charity or a social service.
A red pajama feels alone without his mama. I kind of do this for my own personal benefit. This is the last one they receive in the Imagination Library, and I'll say on the first day of school, oh my goodness, I want to share with you one of my favorite books. And I can tell the kiddos, I have that book, my mommy read it last night. And you can tell, and it's so cool to see because you'll see kiddos that come from a gated community, you'll see kiddos that come in government housing, but they all have access to the same books. So like they start off kindergarten feeling like they are on even playing field because they all know this story.
Anybody think any other describing words? Taylor?
Because he was pitching a fit.
He was totally pitching a fit.
Some background on our community educationally is we had a library until the early 2000s, sponsored by the County Library Association. And then when that pulled out of Ceylon, it really left a void here that we just were never able to fill. And that seems crazy in today's world. Who doesn't have access to books will come to a place like Ceylon. There's no libraries here, there's no stores here. I kind of use the term educational desert. It's really, I get kind of emotional because for us, it matters. It matters to us. This is something we need here, because without it, there's kids that aren't going to get books. It just makes me so emotional when I think of the impact this has on these kids. I mean, it's just truly, it's changing lives. It's changing lives, and there's not enough thank yous in the world for Dolly Parton and this foundation and everything that they've done to make this a reality.
Every day I pray that I can do something to uplift mankind and to glorify God. And so I think through the work that I do, that's my whole mission in life. So whether it's the Imagination Library, which I'm as proud of as anything I've ever done, or whether it's songs I write, or whether it's shows I do, I want to make people feel good about themselves and just feel good, period. And I want them to feel good about me.
So it is a really wonderful program, and this shows some more of the research that's been done on the Imagination Library. So the books are mailed to the child's home in the child's name, which creates a really special connection where the kids can look forward to receiving their books that are addressed to them each month. And each book includes sharing guides and caregiver resources. And so the books are different by age group, and it will have information in it for each age group, what to point out in the books. And this allows caregivers more reading time with their children and reading the same book multiple times, and an earlier onset of caregiver child book reading. And so this really gives families an opportunity to build an at-home library and help prepare their readiness for kindergarten. And other sponsors of the Imagination Library here in Palm Beach County include Children's Services Council, the Community Foundation for Palm Beach and Martin Counties, the Great Charity Challenge, and other organizations, including the Town of Lake Park from last year. And the Palm Beach County Imagination Library also holds fundraisers. We have an annual Run for Reading 5K and other local events. In September, I think I have that later in the slideshow, but we hosted a literacy carnival last September that was held in Kelsey Park, and we've partnered together with Ms. Cooper and the Lake Park Library, and we had a lot of other local organizations that participated, like New Worlds Reading and 211, Bridges of Palm Beach County, Boys Town of South Florida, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. And we probably had about 50 people who attended, and there were activities available there for children. We had the bounce house, there was a face painter, the people, story time with the library staff, and the trackless train was there because the first book every child receives in the Imagination Library is The Little Engine That Could, with a special introduction by Dolly Parton. And so we had the trackless train to tie that in and then read the story. And the graduation book that every child receives is Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come, like you saw in the video. And Dolly Parton's famous quote, "You can never get enough books into the hands of enough children." And this is really supported by research that early literacy is the #1 predictor of future success in school. And here in Palm Beach County, about 50% of third grade children read below grade level. And so that is really impacted by a program like this that targets early literacy. So a child enrolled at birth can build a home library of 60 books. The books are mailed to the home in the child's name. And this program will allow all families with children under age 5 who live in Lake Park to enroll. And this really supports family literacy and kindergarten readiness. In 2024, throughout the county, the Imagination Library mailed over 8,000 books to children, and that included storytime events at the Lake Park Library, and they have a really nice display there with Imagination Library books and registration forms. And this was at a storytime event where families can enroll. And this is a video of one of those events at the library.
Just like you guys are happy in your work, walk, play, right?
Okay, and so that's it for my presentation. Do you have any questions about the program?
Thank you for that presentation. That was very insightful, and
Thank you.
we appreciate you for coming at short notice and providing us the details of your project. So I will start with Commissioner Thomas. You're the one that pulled this item off, so of course you start with questioning.
Yeah, hello. Thank you,
Yes,
Ms.
thank
Thompson.
you so much for having me.
There are a couple of questions that I have. I read through the request, and so my understanding is that you're making the request in order to introduce the programs to families that are within the area.
Yes.
Okay, and I guess was last year, was the first year that you did it, and you did it at Kelsey Park?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking to do something similar again? Okay.
Yes, exactly. We'd like to have a literacy carnival again in Kelsey Park this September with the same organizations and the library participating.
How do you track them? Because as I read the contract with the Imagination Library, they're not responsible for tracking any of the data. You just pretty much make the request for how many books, you might want based on the number of, I guess, enrollees in your program. So there are a number of questions that I have. You stated that there are about 86 children that are from Lake Park or maybe the Lake Park area that are currently part of this program. So my question would be, one, how do you track them from age 0 to age 5? When you do the mail-outs, are you confirming that those children are still there? If the children aren't there, then how do you go about ensuring that those children still receive the books? Because there isn't a way to deny them of it, they're just there. But since you're looking to attract Lake Park children, how do you ensure that? And what do you actually do with that data? Because you're sending out a book every single month, because the Imagination Library isn't sending it to you. I mean, they're sending it to you, but you're responsible for mailing it out to your enrollees, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a great question. And so the way it works,
And I want to say, could you talk a little bit more into the mic, because I don't think that we're getting it. Okay.
Yes, that's a great question. And so the books are actually printed by the official publisher of the Imagination Library, which is Penguin Random House. So they ship directly from the publisher to the children who enroll. And the way that works for local program partners like us is that we order books, like on April 1st, we just ordered the books for May. And families can sign up for the program either by filling out a paper registration form at somewhere like the library or by going onto the website and signing up directly there. So you need to live in an area where the program is available in order to sign up. And so for Palm Beach County, Lake Park is one of those areas. So when we can see on our book ordering database, the families that sign up, we have their names and addresses, but the books, like, they don't ship from us, they ship from the publisher directly. So we are able to look up where the families live by zip code and by town. So when I go into right now we have about 1,000 children enrolled in the program in Palm Beach County, and so I can go into my book ordering system and see that there are 85 or 86 last month, and then one child who turned 5 this month received the graduation book, so 85 children in the town of Lake Park. And so I'm able to see that, and that the books are being delivered, and they're delivered by USPS, so they are receiving the books every month. And they continue, as long as they enroll, they continue receiving a book every month until the month they turn 5 years old. So we do track in terms of that the books are being received and they're not being returned to us back at the post office. And we also send out a yearly survey asking questions that include questions like, do the family members read more as a result of receiving the Imagination Library books? You know, do they find this program to be helpful for their family? You know, do they feel excited about receiving the books? So we received back a lot of data last year that was all families in Palm Beach County answering those questions. And for the programming, such as at the library and for the Literacy Carnival, we really target the marketing of that to people who reside in the town. And so that will be our goal for this year as well, to have that event.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
No. You're answering it well. So I'm trying to think about this. If I'm the parent and you introduce me to the program and I go online and I register, then I'm online and the publisher is going to be sending it to me in my child's name every month, correct?
Yes, so you'll receive the book and they come kind of shrink wrapped with a label on it that has the Palm Beach County Imagination Library logo, and then it will have the child's name, and the return address is our local address for the Palm Beach County Imagination Library. So even though they're shipping out from the publisher, each mailing label is like that local organization, and so here that is us.
But it's not causing the parent any money?
Correct.
Okay, so what's that you had in your packet that it costs $1,749 per child, I think, to mail? What is
Basically,
that?
So that's the cost to us for all the children under age 5 who live in Lake Park right now. So we can look up based on U.S. Census data, basically, how many families with children under age 5 live in a town or municipality. And so here in Lake Park, I can't recall that number off the top of my head. But
I think you said it was like about 86 that we have.
That are currently enrolled.
Right, and there's about 580 in the area. So I tried to do the math.
Yes.
Okay, and I said, okay, based on what you have as far as the mailing, right, that would mean 288 children that could actually afford for the services. But then I had to backtrack because I thought, you're not really asking funding for this. You're really asking funding in order to do the carnival. You're not asking for funding to assist in getting the books distributed. You're really asking for funding in order to have the event. Is that what it is?
Really, yes, for both. You know, the funding would pay for the Literacy Carnival. Like last year we had the bounce house and the activities that were there. Yeah. And the cost of books, I think, like I said, it's $2.60 per book per child. And so that is
about $26 per child per year.
Yes.
I figured that out.
Yes.
Okay. So then,
but it costs the families nothing. So that's
right, it doesn't cost the child. What I'm like trying to like figure out, put my head around is that funding annual funding that you're looking for? Because it's a 5-year program, and it's
Right.
every single month.
Right.
So is that funding to assist with those, like, okay, this is my funding for 2 years, this is my funding for 3 years? Or is this just to do the carnival?
This funding, I think, according to the grant application, it was funding for the grant period. So,
Which was only 4 months. See, that's why I want to make sure that you're getting enough money. That's really all the reason for all of my questions, right? Is like looking to see, okay, fine. When I do the calculations, it only gives you 4 months. So that's like 4 months of 86 kids who are only going to get it for a month. So I'm like thinking, where's the rest of that funding coming from? Should you enroll more children? And is that going to be sufficient for the next 11 months? You see what I'm trying to like say?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I see what you're asking.
Okay.
And to answer that question, we do have other sponsors and partnerships for the organization, and so all the children enrolled, we make sure to provide for that 5-year commitment to make sure that everyone who signed up, that area can continue to be open. And so with the 3-month period for the grant, it will cover books during that time and also marketing to help sign up more families in Lake Park for the rest of the year. And so the marketing materials will be things like brochures and, signage and things that we can distribute, just to tell more people about the program.
Do you warehouse any of this?
I'm sorry?
Or do you warehouse any of these books?
No, we don't.
Okay.
So because they do ship from the publisher, and that also helps to keep the cost down.
Right.
Once they're printed, they get processed and then sent out directly.
What happens if the books are returned to you because they can't find the kid? I mean, no, when I say the kid, I'm sorry, the child.
They get returned to us at the post office, and so we would go there to pick them up. But I will say our program has been open now for 4 years, and we've only ever had 2 books returned.
Mm-hmm.
And families, if they move during that time, they can actually go into the website and change their address. So as long as they still reside in an area that's open, they'll continue to receive their books.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner O'Rourke.
First, can you give this presentation to the clerk's office so we have it as part of our record?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Do we have it? Okay, I didn't see it in there. How are the children that would participate in this program, how are they selected?
Based on just the families so far that have attended the events, like the Literacy Carnival and like the enrollment events at the library, who live in the town and have children under age 5. So we've tried to reach so far like as broad an area as we can. But the families who maybe saw a flyer, saw something in the email newsletter that it was available and attended this event and were then able to sign up.
Okay, I'm asking that question because I go around town and sometimes I see families that are in need like that, and I'm just looking over to my fellow commissioners and saying, if you see somebody, get them involved. This is a great program.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's really all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank you for bringing this to our town, and thank you, Merle.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Commissioner Linden.
Okay.
Or Vice Mayor.
You want?
Judy Cooper, Library Director. I was going to say real quickly, we keep the applications for this at the library at all times, and they are available.
Okay.
I forgot to thank you too, Judith. Sorry. Judy.
Vice Mayor.
I just want to say I think it's a great program, and I had a couple of questions that I wanted to answer myself, and Commissioner Thomas shot him out for it. But I want to make sure, because just looking at scores, I notice a younger age of younger kids from our elementary feeder school. I want to make sure the program continue to benefit the residents of Lake Park and the students to improve the reading skills. Reading a book every day can improve the reading skills. So I just want to commend you on that.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It really is a wonderful program.
I don't know if you didn't figure it out by now, but you have educators that are here on the council. So they are greatly appreciative, and that's even extending out to Commissioner O'Rourke as well, and actually even Commissioner Linden to some regard.
Ironically, we're all educators. I love it. I love the program, by the way, and as you drive around town, you'll notice a number of us have the free little libraries.
Yeah.
And to watch a child open that and take a book of his choosing is, heartwarming to say the least. But I've got some minor issues that I'd like to get clarified. One is around the money. So it's $7,500 a year, and you're looking for that as a grant each year for 3 to 5 years?
I don't think it was done that way.
No.
Mr. Commissioner?
It's a per year, but you're looking for a long-term commitment.
If I may, our grant program is year to year, so she would have to, on behalf of the foundation, submit a new application each year. And last year's was too.
Okay.
In the history of me being here, our grant program is an annual endeavor. So each applicant can only apply for funding for a one-year period.
Okay, having dealt with the grant program numerous times, we've made some changes in that program over the years. First of all, I support the program. I love the idea, but I don't know if the money's going to be there every year. All right, so I'm wondering, do we put it on a line item if this is going to be an ongoing item and you won't have to come back here each year? The second part of that question, which is probably even more critical, we had one group, the people looking for grants, we had 25,000 and they wanted, the total was like 40,000, which included your program. And if I remember, I think your program got scratched on that one. And I guess no?
I don't think I was part of that.
Are you referring to last year?
No, probably 2 years ago.
Last year was the first year she applied.
Okay.
And she was funded. She applied for $6,500, and she was granted $6,500 last year.
Okay, well, I'll go back and look, but I could be mistaken. The issue being, I don't know how much grant money we have promised out. We have a cap or a limit, all right? So if we've got 5, 6 local charities, I don't know what the number is, then it's up to us to decide, do we split one, do we split 2 of them, how much do we give, and so forth. So do we know how many applications we have and where we're at as far as the 25,000 goes?
We didn't have 25,000. We had 10.
We currently have 10?
The program was allocated $10,000 in this year's budget.
Okay, but, all right. So if the money's there, I guess we're okay, want to bring it to a vote, but I'm concerned about year number 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And maybe that's a discussion we have during budget hearings, to maybe take this and make it a permanent line item so you don't have to come back each year, because it is a great, great program, no doubt. How do you assure, or can you assure, that it's Lake Park children only and not all surrounding areas?
So when I go in our book ordering system, it's called the Book Ordering System Database, and it's our website for the Palm Beach County Imagination Library as a local program partner. And with all the children enrolled, there are filters that I can put on it, and so I'm able to filter out how many live in Lake Park. And even because the zip code can be West Palm Beach or Riviera Beach, but I can actually make sure it's Lake Park, and so we can track how many are enrolled.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Commissioner Linden. Vice Mayor, you're good? Everybody else is good on this side. Thank you again for this. This is indeed a wonderful program, and we are very happy and honored to have you here and creating this program for our kids here in Lake Park and encouraging the literacy. It all fits together, especially with the proclamations that we gave today. It all ties in for a wonderful experience as well as a wonderful intent. So
Thank you so much for having me.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
Yes. Any other further discussion?
Considering, Merrill, that this was held at Kelsey Park last year, do they go through the special event? You know, because that's another thing.
Yes, they do. Not only do they go through the special event permitting process, I happen to have had a separate conversation with our special events director, Ria Needy Franks, who commented separately that it was an impeccable application.
Okay, so then my question then is this a special event that's then coordinated with our library?
Yes.
Okay, so
And-
therefore, it's not necessarily a additional costs to the applicant because our town is sort of like supporting it, so any maybe extra costs or unforeseen costs would be covered by the town?
And Rhea Needy, you are on cue.
Rhea Needy Frank, Special Events Director. I believe last year the only thing they paid for was the application fee for the special event permit application and also the refundable security deposit for the park. They don't pay the rental fee or the staff fee or anything like that.
Okay, yeah,
Because
okay.
it's a collaborative effort.
Okay, thank you.
And if I may, there is one other thing I would like to bring to everyone's attention is that one of the ways they can match the funds is through volunteer hours, and all three of their volunteers are library staff,
Yeah,
including the library director.
I did notice that. I wanted to make sure that the request that was being made is to assist with the vendors, I think, that the applicant is looking to do, as opposed to any other extra fees that would probably be associated, i.e. paying the employees.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. Okay. With
Then we can
that,
go in for a vote.
yes, thank you. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The vote passes. You guys are crazy. All right. Next, I have nothing under quasi-judicial public hearing. I do have one item on the new business, designation of a voting delegate and alternate to the Palm Beach County League of Cities.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Before we go there, I'd like to back up just a little bit.
Sure.
On the consent agenda, we approved the Planning and Zoning Board appointment. Ms. Karen Lou is here. I would like to thank her for her application. Would you mind stepping up and introducing yourself?
Well, why don't we do so? Ms. Liu, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Lau, and I'm a neighbor of this town. I'm falling in love with it more and more each day, and I'm also a business person that it's involved very much in the growth of Palm Beach County, and one of the greatest interests is helping this town be recognized as the jewel it is and support the balanced growth of it, and for us, the neighbors in here, to enjoy it more and more each day. So I think there's a lot that can be done, and I'm willing to put some of my time and my support for this to happen.
And here's where I was like, wanted to be the second to nominate her, because I know Karen for a long time, too. She's an asset to our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Karen, we welcome you. We thank you, and we look forward to you being a part of us in community engagement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving back to our new business. This is a designation for the Palm Beach County League of Cities. We need one of our members to act as a voting delegate during our general membership meetings. In the past, former Vice Mayor Kimberly Glass Castro served as the town's voting delegate, along with myself, and I believe former Mayor O'Rourke, now Commissioner, also acted as one. Am I mistaken, or?
No, you're right.
You did? So at this point, we are looking for someone to act as that person moving forward, along with an alternate. So I will leave the floor open to you all to make a nomination as well as an alternate.
I'm gonna hit you. Welcome to being the vice mayor. I nominate Michael Hensley
as the voting alternate or voting?
The voting delegate.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, just to make this point, you will act as the voting delegate in attendance upon when you're there at the League of Cities meeting. If you're not there, we will also designate an alternate, just so you understand that. So if you are not present, somebody will be there to support you. Okay? So we have a motion for Michael Hensley, our vice mayor. Do we have a choice for an alternate?
I would like to nominate Judith for that position as an alternate.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Ms. Thomas, Commissioner Thomas.
Wow. How often are those meetings?
About once every month.
Around what time?
Usually noontime, noon to 1.
And where are they normally held?
They are in separate municipalities, as each municipality in the county hosts it. We're looking hopefully one day for us to host it here, but we will work ourselves forward to try and do so. But it is once a month.
Okay. I would like to decline. And my reason for declining, I'm just going to say that, is that I'm an educator, and I don't have a break during school, so there's no flexibility in that. And I think that it would behoove me to accept it and not be able to devote that type of, and I really love the League of Cities and all of that, and I really take that very seriously. So with that said, I thank you for the nomination, but at this point in my capacity, I would like to decline.
Okay.
With that, I would nominate Commissioner Linden, because I don't have the time to do that as an alternate even. I've taken on a full-time job now, and I'm really struggling trying to get to events myself.
Okay.
And so I nominate John Linden.
Well, thank you. And I do have the most amount of time, and I was going to nominate
You don't have to now.
But no, I'll be glad to accept it as the alternate.
Okay, so we have...
I do second.
Okay, there we are. We have 2 nominations for 2 people to my left. Everybody else looking at the dais to their right. Commissioner Hensley as the voting delegate and Commissioner Linden as the alternate. And I think you just seconded it?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second.
So we have a first and a second. I don't think we need any further discussion.
Those
for
in
this.
favor say?
Those in favor say
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you for representing the town. Okay, with that, town attorney comments.
I have no comments.
All right, moving along, town manager.
If I can invite our community development director up. 1 to 2.
1 minute.
1 to 2.
Good evening, Natty DiTomaso, Community Development Director. I did rig my notes. I was told I only have 1 to 2 minutes just to provide a brief update on code compliance. So thank you for the opportunity to speak. I will be brief. As you know, as the Commission knows and the public knows, code compliance is a division within the Community Development Department. The Code Compliance Division is comprised of code compliance professionals who we know as the code compliance officers. Their job really is to enforce the codes that we have in place in the town's code of ordinances. And we have several enforcement procedures that are in place in order to do that. With that being said, we've been having several internal discussions over the last little while. And in an effort to streamline our procedures and improve our effectiveness and customer service strategies, staff has been exploring improved strategies in order to ensure that we properly and effectively educate our community members on our code provisions, because there are several, and on our various procedures that we currently undertake in code compliance, rather than simply enforcing them. So some ideas that we've been discussing, and of course they haven't been implemented yet, but they are a work in progress, are trilingual code manuals, revised notice forms that are a little easier to understand, of course better communication from the outset from our code compliance officers, door hangers, and these are just a few ideas that we've been tossing around at the staff level, whether it be between community development, the town manager's office, the public information officers department. We're working on these strategies, and we certainly wanted the commission to be aware. Our ongoing goal has always been and will continue to be to work with the residents, the business owners, the property owners on our various code issues that we may have going throughout the town. Of course, our goal is to maintain and improve everyone's quality of life. We encourage the public to always reach out to us. So for the public who's listening, our phone number in code compliance is 561-881-3321. We encourage you to call us. If we can't immediately connect with you, we will certainly connect with you as soon as possible. We are open to any ideas that anyone may have. I know we did have a community forum not too long ago where we started to have some of these discussions. We've implemented some internal changes, but there is always room for improvement. Again, my pitch this evening is really to inform the commission and the public that we want to work with you. We want to continue working with you in code compliance. We understand that it isn't an easy task, whether it be for the code compliance officer or on the receiving end, from the property owner or the resident or the business owner. And so we're also looking at different municipalities where, we'll reach out to them, find out what their best practices are. We'll try to implement what we think could work here. So all of this is a work in progress. And ideally, our goal is to provide the best possible customer service. And that is, for all our departments, but especially for code compliance, because it is one of the more difficult departments because of course, the procedures that they're required to adhere to, and they're required to communicate to the community as a whole. So we hope that we always serve you in the best way possible, and please give us a call if we're not doing so, just to let us know what your ideas are. And as we continue evolving and developing our additional strategies, we'll make sure to, provide that information to the commission as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Nadia. And just real quickly, for us, the way we're looking at it, there are 3 priorities with code enforcement going forward. And it's education, customer service, and maintaining and building a strong community, a quality of life, the quality of life within our community. And so that's where a lot of our discussions are centered around, those 3 priorities. And by looking at even the forms that, like Nadia was talking about, the way they're presented, how we present them. We have a great staff. It's a difficult job. But can we look at things a little bit differently than maybe we may have? Code enforcement's an important part of maintaining the quality of life and the character of our community. But working with our community and making sure they understand the process, how we go about, through the process. That's why the door hangers, introducing ourselves. And a lot of times, code enforcement is represented in a negative way. Can we put a door hanger out that says, great job? You've done a great job. You're meeting the code. Can we put it out that, hey, here's a courtesy notice just to let you know here are some areas we're not citing, we're not even giving a warning, but here's some areas and we're teaching. Meryl and her staff, Lamar, are doing a great job in trying to promote and do a lot of things communication-wise. We can focus on some of our code enforcement activities and how we the process, how we do different things through videos as well. So we're looking at it comprehensively and really trying to incorporate some of the things that our staff boots on the ground are hearing or seeing, how we can be better. We're also getting ready to go through the process of reviewing our code. So unnecessary things in our code that we're expected to to manage and look for, do we need to do those? Are they dated? Does it benefit only a few? Does it hurt a few? So we're going to be looking at that and bringing that back to you over time as well, because that's probably, as we've mentioned, it's probably about a 2-year process to go through our whole code. So you'll see different ordinances coming forward at different times with regards to that. And of course, we'll rely on our code staff to help us with some of those. But it really is, just trying to look at things a little bit differently and focus on those 3 components.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes. I have a couple others.
Sure.
Okay. With regards to the Park Avenue downtown district in our downtown, as you're aware, the commission had previously directed the town attorney to move forward in engaging with a planning consultant. We've done that. The town attorney's done a great job with that. We appreciate him and our community development director. Kimley Horn has been selected. They're one of our continuing services contracts. That contract, as you remember, you all provided direction to go forward prior to approval of it. And that agreement will be provided to you all during your next meeting for approval. During the process, there is an opportunity for a public workshop. It'll be here at Town Hall in the commission chambers. We're still determining the time, but that will all be defined and provided to our community. So again, it's important to engage our community within this process and make sure that you all are also provided with the information prior to it coming back to you. So we'll make sure that that all happens. In our library, there are a couple items that we wanted to talk about, especially with tax day coming up. The library will continue to provide free tax aid on September 5th, which is April 5th, and Saturday, April 12th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There will be a photography exhibit that is open, Birds in Flight, and it'll have a grand opening or a reception on Saturday, April 5th from 2:15 p.m. to 3:45, so we invite the public. For all other public library events and programs, please check out our website. Wanted to also make sure that the commission and the community were aware that our Public Works Department is beginning the sidewalk program for this year, and it's expected to begin on April 7th. So we'll make sure that the community is aware if it's affecting them in their neighborhood. We have a couple of events also coming up. We have our Easter Egg Extravaganza at the town. Again, the town will host that on Saturday, April 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Kelsey Park. There will be egg hunts for children 3 to 10 years old, free photos with the Easter Bunny, children's activities, raffle prizes, and much more. Maybe we'll have a cup for that too. Also, Arbor Day, we will be celebrating Arbor Day on Friday, April 25th, 10 a.m., and we'll have a ceremony and a tree planting at Kelsey Park, and the public is invited. Summer camp is officially open for registration and will be held from June 9th to August 1st in our recreation building. And you can find out more about that on our website or calling our special events department. And then finally, the South Florida Water Management District has requested that the town consider April 2025 as Water Conservation Month, as Florida Water Refuse Week. And we are seeking Town's Commission consensus to place both the Water Conservation Month and Water Refuse Week on an upcoming commission meeting agenda.
All right, thank you for that. Commissioner comments. I will start with you, Commissioner O'Rourke.
Thank you. I have a question to this commission.
Yes.
What are we doing? This is the second meeting I've had here. We have a consent agenda and we have a designation of voting for the County League of Cities. This election was an election about what's going on in our town with regard to development. And I'm addressing the commissioners now because we're here together. We're here supposed to be doing something. There's a march, the moratorium in the downtown development till May, I believe it's somewhere around May, I'll say May 15th, let's say the middle of, and there's no discussion on this at all. This is one of the critical things that's important to the life of this community right now. And we still haven't addressed it. This is the second meeting. It's been brought to my attention. There was a meeting with community development today to discuss code compliance. Code compliance in a way that one of the developers in the downtown area, they've selected to enforce code violations on the developer of the property who can't develop the property right now because it's in limbo. But yet, the code is being used against that developer, and they have to pay, they have to be engaged in a process of justifying why they can't, for example, fix a building that is infested right now. In addition to that, the Park Avenue downtown development area has another request for consulting. And I ask this of the town manager. The next meeting when this comes up, I would like to see how much money Kimberly Horn is making and how many times they've already done consultant work on the very properties I'm talking about. First, there were 2 consultant studies done on quote and unquote historic building. As far as my view is concerned, there's only one historic area in the downtown area, and that's the Kelsey Theater. A building that is a wood frame building that is now infested is not a historic building because it held a cleaners at one time and may have held other businesses. That doesn't make it, nor does it being built in 1975 make it historic. There's something else going on there. I don't know what it is, but we need to get to the bottom of this stuff. And dancing around these issues is not good for me. I'm here. I don't want to be on this commission too long. I'm not interested in mayor. I'm not interested in more than serving a term here. I came here to get this commission to understand a perspective that I had for 10 years trying to move this town in a positive direction. And I don't see it moving any faster than it takes to pour molasses out of a bottle. So that was my comment. I don't need to tell you, I'm a little ticked off about it. So I ask my commissioners to let's bring this stuff forward. I ask the town manager, bring this stuff forward. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Rourke. Commissioner Thomas.
I think you probably should go to that end and let this end cool off a little bit. Would be my recommendation.
Duly noted. Commissioner Linden.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I don't even want to get into the 918 building tonight. I'll wait for that meeting because there is some misleading information there. Just let it go for now. I want to talk about the good stuff, all right? One, with the Arbor Day coming up, I've been to probably 8 Arbor Days, if not 9, you know. And it's always the same 2 or 3 of us that show up. And I would like to see our advisory boards invited. Tree Board, Planning and Zoning, Friends of the Library. Those people were part of our town. And it came to tuition at the Sunset Celebration when one of the board members, I said, do you know so-and-so? And he says, no, we don't get much recognition. And I thought, wow, you've got a tremendous position in this town. So we need to get those people a little bit on board. They don't have name tags. I think they got paper things in the front. I don't even remember now. But a simple offer to each of those board members. They may work, they may not work, but I'd love to see 15, 20 people our side. If you've never been to one, the children are just unbelievable. They got their little bags of sand and dirt, and they just have a great, great time. And they entertain us too with various songs. So that's one. Yesterday, at a business meeting, someone came up to me and said, why did they turn the Christmas lights on Park Avenue? And I didn't even know they were on. Of course, I don't know if they were on or not, but they felt that they were on. I said, well, maybe they were just testing them. But are they going to be on permanently? What's that going to cost us? And so forth. So I don't know about Christmas tree lights, but as you know, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. So I'd be happy with them on 24/7, but that's neither here nor there. The other thing is we get conflicting programs going on conflicting dates. On the 5th of April, we've got the library event. You've got the Heritage Day event at North Palm. You've got the Rust Market on the 16th, and you got the Easter extravaganza. You have so many people to pull from. So I'd like to take a look at what's going on in town and how can we promote Lake Park without the people having to split or decide where they want to go to different locations. So I just think it's something we need. And the Lake Park Historic Society, we will be at the extravaganza. We have coloring paper and pencils and all kind of neat things for them to do. But that falls on the same day as the Rust Market. Again, now we're splitting people. Even though it's kids, the parents bring the kids. And this is the last Rust Market with the car show. And so I think we're missing an opportunity on cross-promoting also. As I look at North Palm, Riviera Beach, when they have events, they list them out. We do too. But they kind of watch that they don't step on each other and they get the attendance they need. That looks like that's about it. I'll have to go back over my notes. But the development thing, Commissioner threw a curve at me, so I had to back up and regroup. So that's it.
All right. Thank you with that, Commissioner Linden. I will stay to this side with Vice Mayor Hensley.
All right, thank you. I think I received the best news tonight with the talk of code enforcement, educating, and the residents. Just a sticky note at the door, saying something positive, informing them. You know, that's customer service is the best way we can do to our residents. Educate them in customer service and continue to improve the quality of life in Lake Park. I agree with Commissioner O'Rourke. If we have to, we need to have the tough conversations, and we can get into them whenever the time is right for us to do it, or whenever it's on the agenda. But I agree, we can also have the tough conversation. But as we have those conversations, I want to tell the commission, make sure that we keep our residents in mind, because we want to also make the best decision for them, but we also want to represent them also. And finally, I want to say that I had an awesome time on a bike ride around Lake Park. That was actually one of my first times doing that. I haven't rode a bike in probably 17 years, and I thought I was going to be hurting, but it was actually really fun. I got to sample some great food, and I continue to look for events like that. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
And Commissioner O'Rourke, we missed you on that stretched bicycle.
Oh, no. We talked about the tortoise thing. I think I'm a little older than the tortoises, so.
All right. Stop exaggerating.
You know what? I have one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to say, too, because it's April, I really appreciate the tree board, Miss Patricia Ledoux, on the scrub area and everything they do out there for the environment, because this is pretty much Environment Month. And, you know, I'm trying to get really into this thing. Even when I'm doing my yard, I make sure I'm doing the right things, trees, making sure you're not riding by, you know, making sure that I'm doing the wrong thing. So I appreciate all the education you do for us. Thank you.
Are you trying to say Brady Drew could be looking at you?
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
He should be. You got that, Brady, right? All right.
Okay. Commissioner Thomas.
Wonderful. I want to say thank you to the board that we have here. Really appreciate it. I love the excitement that Commissioner O'Rourke has over here. I would like to say, though, in regards to what was happening here, I know that for a fact I was one of those commissioners that made comments to our former town manager about when would we begin work in regards to the density issues as well as the PADD. One of the things that I know that this commissioner, the previous commissioner, had concerns about was one that we were transitioning from one town manager to the other and wanted to make sure that that town manager was really up to speed on what was happening. Our town manager that's here hasn't actually even been here for a full 4 months yet. The town manager started here January the 9th, I think, if my memory serves me correct, and it's April, right, around there somewhere, and it's now April the 2nd. See, it's not even April Fool's, so you missed that one. The other thing was that I know probably was a delay was the mere fact that we knew, this commission knew that there was going to be an election coming up in March and wanted to be fair to whatever the new commission that was going to be coming before any decision would be made so that we would give respect to that. So I will say that it has been a conversation that I've had myself with our current town manager about where we are, what has been like some of the delay in regards to it, but I do want to put on record what were some of the concerns. I also know, too, that in speaking with developers who had made requests of my time, that was one of the conversations that I even had with the developers, that I'm going to be honest with you, there's a zoning in progress, but probably nothing will happen until the new town manager came on board. The new town manager is now on board. It has now given the new town manager some opportunity to really delve in and look at some of the issues that are here. And so I am looking for some movement. I believe the movement will happen because we do know what's on the books and what will occur. And that being said, that's my position on it. So if there's been any delay, I would say to myself that I didn't want to be in a position where there was going to be a new commission coming on and then people making comments about why were these decisions made and there wasn't sufficient time, and also to be respectful to the new town manager. Having said that, I would like to say thank you to our town manager who drove myself and the mayor to Tallahassee. We made it there and back alive and safe. There were a couple of times that we both had to hold on and pray, but we were probably praying for the appropriations of funds on the way there and praying hopefully for the appropriations of funds to stick. With that also being said, I am disappointed that a year have gone by and the first time, I believe, I took the trip to Tallahassee, it was to make a request to our elected officials about the septic to sewer. We were disappointed. We went and we made a request, and we thought that we had it, and then at the end of the budget, we realized that we didn't have it, and then our congressional representative then came out and said, here, we have the funds in order to allow for these, I think it's 47 properties that were out there to go from septic to sewer, just to learn again that that has escaped us.
Yep.
So I'm very disappointed, and in a community of this size, to try and take on that task by ourselves, we can't do it. So I'm disappointed, with that. No fault of us here, but it's just really disappointing to hear that, and now to try to figure out how we're going to get funding to get these properties online. We made the trek again to try to get some funding for our Oval About. That's part of our CRA. Heard a lot of disappointing issues there, but we also heard some comforting comments as well. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, my legs crossed, and also my tongue crossed to bless it that we get, some funding, to come by. So I really am hoping that it has been a learning experience, one that I have completely enjoyed, having to go and meet our representative. But when I come home, I almost feel as though the trip was sort of a high glory, and then I come back home and I just feel very saddened by it. I am concerned because we are trying to move forward, and we need that assistance to move forward because there's also funds out there that we're not collecting, and we're in a momentum now to try to get there. And with every delay, there's a cost. So I do understand that. So with that being said, thank you, the town of Lake Park. Thank you, commissioners that are on this dais. But I'm leaving with a solemn, because while the trip up there was a lot of fun and we all had a great opportunity to share and get to know, stop it. There was a reason for that. So nevertheless, thank you.
Mayor, can I just briefly make a comment?
Please.
My comments were not meant in any way to disrespect any of my commissioners, and I hope you understand that, nor the town manager or even the town. But there's things going on that we really need to get a handle on, and that's all. That I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Okay. I thank you, commissioners, for your comments, and I thank you for your vigor and your fiery nature, because I knew once the election was over, no matter who came on this dais, it was going to be business as usual, which is what I've said to some of you. And indeed, it is business as usual. And I know the experience is here. I understand the nature of wanting to get down to business. And we should. Of course, we want to give respects to our new town manager as he's embarking on this journey with us, and make sure he's fully prepared for those times that those areas come to light in discussion. I, too, just like you, care about that business community in that area in question. I care about those developments. But for me, I also care about all the ingredients that make our town important. And one big importance is the people. The people of this town need to be there at the table when the discussions occur. So we need to have them there to hear what's going on, to see what's going on, to understand it. We need those developers that are there that we're trying to make partnerships with to be there in those discussions, to be there with us, and to see where we are, where we can find that happy median, or however we look at things along this journey. All the ingredients needs to be there, and we should all be there at the table when it's time for the discussion. And I want my town manager to be fully versed at every aspect of what happened prior to his tenure, what's going on during his tenure, and when the times to discuss what needs to happen and discuss during that time in question. So that's what I want to say about that. And I look forward to those discussions as we have had in the past on many projects that we all have had discussions with. With respects to the Tallahassee trip, I will agree it was a safe journey to and back. I like what you said about how you felt, but for me, I felt different about how I receive word from our legislatures. In the past, normally they would be very ecstatic in delivering that we will support you. I felt a lot of cautious in this trip when we spoke to them about our initiative and about why we're doing this. And although they said, we love what you're doing, I heard a lot of the but in that nature in terms of the funding. And it seems like right now in Tallahassee, it's a different feel. They are being very cautious in how they convey as to how much they can do. And even if they can do so much, there's still one other person that can veto everything right when it gets to that front line and the finish line. So I will say it was quite an experience, as Commissioner Thomas stated. It is indeed a different feel in Tallahassee from what I experienced. And I would have loved to have all of you there, and I understand with respects to you, gentlemen, at the end, the timing was a little off. But I know for a fact that next year is going to be different. And together, we're better collective together. And hopefully that whatever is going on right now will take care of itself for the next year, and we can all go up there together to express the concerns of our community, to express how much we need help from the state in our community, and how much we appreciate what they've done in the past and what they can do more for us in the future. So, and then as it relates to the bike event, I'll just make it short and sweet. Wonderful event. Thank you to all the restaurants that participated, because you gave all the patrons that participated a wonderful treat and an extra capping to the event by having them try your delicious food. And I hope this journey continues, because this was a journey that former Vice Mayor Kimberly Gastro started, and she's a big avid bicyclist, and I hope we can continue together and create ideas together and make this thing wonderful and sustainable. So with that, I thank you guys for being a part of this. I thank you all out there, as well as those watching, and I will entertain one. Is there any requests for future agenda items? No? Then I will request for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.